Alright, so we are going to learn about layout markers and what they are used for. So I started a project, and this project has an apple from scratch in it, and we're going to stick it there, and I want it to move in a sort of box formation, and I just happen to have the code right here. So this I think will work. We'll just see what happens when we run it. So they'll go down and they'll go, and as you can see, it's kind of not where I wanted it to do. I kind of thought minus 200 and 200 have kind of gone not quite what I thought. So to be honest, I thought, yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's good. That's exactly what I want. So let's just say I want to be able to define a box a bit better on the layout. So say I want it to go from here to here to here to here. Now I could fiddle around and adjust these X values. So this thing here is just saying, well, the sprite X is less than 200. I'll add 10 to X. That means I'm going to move right. And this one here, so remembering that on the layout, this X coordinate, if you look at the, if I open this up, you can see the X position changing. Over here is a negative X position, and a positive Y position, a positive Y position, and a positive X position, negative Y, positive X, and negative X, and negative Y. So I could move it around, and I could just read these values off, and then I could stick them into my code. So that's what this is doing. This is just going and doing the looping the round in a square. If you really want to be nice, why not we'll go pen down, and then we'll do it, and then we'll kind of create a little square, and we're out of the bounds of the thing. On the Glitter IDE, if you add and subtract from the sprite X position, it does not check the boundary, so you can move your sprite outside of the layout, but you can move it outside the layout anyhow. But anyway, back to this. So how do we solve this problem? Well, we use layout markers. So up here is an add marker. So if I click on that, it adds a marker, and the marker goes there. I have noticed that this still is highlighted, and you can move that around, but it's not the end of the world. That can be for another day to fix. So anyway, we're going to put this layout marker here is going to be my top left. So I'm just going to give it a name, top. But this name doesn't really matter. So this name here doesn't really matter. What matters here is this. So I'm going to give it a better name, top left. Like that. And another way I can make a layout marker is I can click on the layout markers, and then I can go new, and then I have another layout marker. And then I can, before I do anything, I am just changing the code slightly. Anyway, so now if I go back to my default layout, I have another layout marker, and we're going to put this layout marker down the bottom here. We might put this up somewhere around here, just so that it starts in the right position. But you'll find that we can still use the markers for this bottom right, and we'll call this bottom. So remember, all variables can't have spaces in them, so that won't work. You have to not have spaces. This is called camel caps. If you haven't used this kind of style before, if you're a Python person, maybe you want to go like that, except I don't have underscores. Okay, we'll add in underscores for variable names. Anyway, we got that there. Alright, so now we have our two markers. One's called bottom right, and one's called top left. So how do we use these? So this is my right hand side X coordinate. So I want to get the X coordinate of my marker. So I go marks dot bottom right, so this is the bottom right one, dot X, right, and then I want to go, so this is the bottom this is the bottom right Y coordinate, and this is going to be marks.top left.x, and you can see where this is going. You can go here, top left.y. Right, and so now we can see what happens when we run it. So now we're going there, and we're going there. And so it has kind of made a square. We didn't start on the top left, but we can fix that. So we'll just sort of zoom out, and you can kind of try and remember. What we will do is we will click on the spawn button, and this creates another little window, so we can run our little flag. Right, and then we can look at this and compare it with our layout. Or maybe we can't. And you can't actually see the outside of the it's a bit late to do this now, but that's not going to show up. Alright, well anyway, we'll come back to that. But first, we want it to start on the top left corner. So we can just go X, Y. Unfortunately, you can't just go marks.top left. So I might actually make it so that this can do that. But I'm probably going to go with go point marks.top left. Because these things marks this variable here. So this is the variable. This is the marks variable. You can also use m.top left, and this has a bunch of what you could call in Java or other languages instance or fields, and then that has a something x and y, so you can access those things. And at the moment, just explaining quickly what that means. You don't have to understand it like that, but the trick here is that if you use this and then you go and try using Java or C or something, you'll be like, oh, I kind of understand what all this stuff is. Well, Java and JavaScript, maybe not C so much. So we have to unfortunately go like that for now. But now when we do it, oh, right, I've changed it. Sorry. It does have to be M, but unfortunately it has to be MS in this version here. So I had a crazy idea because I wrote the documentation, and then I thought maybe it should be MS, not M. But the version that I put on the I've uploaded has M, and the version that I'm running has MS. It's going to be M, so we'll just forget that for now, but you can just use M. If I use MS, you'll see that it works. So, oh my gosh. Don't put the pen up. Don't go pen. Alright. Let's get this looking nice. Alright, so there we have our nice little line. We made a little square. We can spawn it. We can move it up to there. We can go like that. We can bring it here. We can finally see this. So there are my two markers. We're going to run it. And so you can see those are the markers. Now, if I carefully rearrange my markers for no reason whatsoever, and then when I do it, it's moved it there. So that's basically how the layout markers work. So they can be useful when you want to refer to particular places on the display or your stage without having to like write down the numbers, and then you can move them around afterwards. And that is that. If you want to delete them, same with other parts of this thing, you click on the little X, it looks like that. It will stay there. You can bring it back whenever you want. If I try and run it now, it will tell me that bottom right does not exist, so it doesn't know where it is. And you can bring it back, and it will. And it will eventually disappear when you save it. So these things don't get saved to the save file, but they hang around while you're working in like ghosted form. until you're finished. So thanks for watching. That is layout markers, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.